Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. Tom Leach here along with Keeneland's Director of Mutuals and Simulcasting, Jim Goodman. And we are going to take a look at the Saturday Pick 4 at Del Mar, which includes a couple of graded stakes. Saratoga gets started this weekend as well. The Grade 1 Diana on Saturday, and then the Grade 1 Coaching Club American Oaks and Songbird on Sunday. And that'll be a small field, Jim, but by no means a walkover for Songbird.
No, I think she's been off since, I think, March, and undefeated, and they're not going to take on the boys, and they put a couple $100,000 extra up for her to come to this race, but a couple of horses waiting in the wings.
Karina Mia?
Karina Mia probably is the biggest threat to her, but I just watched that race and just pull for Songbird. I think she's unbelievable, and I'm glad. I wish they'd run her against the boys this summer because I think the 3-year-old crop is very balanced, and she might be able to do what Rachel Alexander did a few years ago, actually compete with the 3-year-olds. But they're going to wait and run her against the boys next year. So I just like to watch that race and try to just admire her for what she is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get to the Del Mar card. We'll talk about the 2 stakes races first, and then we'll do our late pick 4. The 7th race leads off that late pick 4, and it's the Grade 2 San Clemente on the turf. 3-year-old filly is going a mile. I was kind of between Be Mine and Stays in Vegas here, but I didn't see a real standout. What about you?
Yeah, I had a hard to separate those two. They run right together the last couple of times. I give a very, very slight edge to Stays in Vegas, who's 3 for 3 at a mile. And so that, if you can't separate those, it might open the race up for somebody else if you don't think that those races were strong. But they both look strong, the Senorita and the Honeymoon, and they ran 1-2 and 2-3. So those two are my top 2 choices. Belvoir Bay intrigues me a little bit with Peter Miller, and Ferran Giroux flies in from Saratoga. He's been working a couple of horses up there for Mr. Cassie, and that are going to run at Saratoga, and Gun Runner also for Larry Jones, I think, and so he's going to fly to California to ride this horse, which tells me that the horse might be live. And she ran at Santa Anita in December, has been off since then, but got a 90 buyer and won by 7 1/4. Pratt takes off her and takes Be Mine, but that might be more for Phil D'Amato and one of his regular riders there. So Belvoir Bay, I think, has a shot. The surprise may be Gone to Valley, the 11th horse for Jeff Mullins, and got a lot of speed. If Tyler Bays can get her to the lead, she might clear and take them a long way. So I use those 4 horses and the 11 with a very slight edge to Stays in Vegas for 10.
I kind of went the other way, a slight edge to Be Mine. I like the fact that Flavian Pratt stayed on this one, and that the D'Amato barn's been off to a good start at Del Mar, but it wasn't a real strong opinion. If the odds were particularly good on Belvoir Bay, that might intrigue me. So this is the one you want to kind of keep an open mind about, I think. But Be Mine is going to be my pick to win. And I would use her in an exacta box with Stays in Vegas, Belvoir Bay, and Jade Princess intrigued me a little bit for Baffert as well. So a 4-horse exacta box would be my play in that race. Would Be Mine is the win pick. 9th race is the Grade 2 San Diego. It's Dortmund versus California Chrome. Now on speed figures, Win the Space has a number from his last start that makes him a contender here. If he'd run back to, I think it was a 107. And that's a horse that's at least worth a glance. But I ended up going to Dortmund. Baffert could have picked an easier spot to bring this horse back, knowing California Chrome was going to run here, and he didn't. And so that tells me he's really high on Dortmund, the way the horse is training from just looking at the workouts, but then just reading some of the coverage from out there. Both the horses, Chrome and Dortmund, are training really well. I think Dortmund might have the shot to be the controlling speed, and Gary Stevens is really good on the front end. So I'm going to take Dortmund, slight edge over California Chrome, and then I'll also do an exacta box with Dortmund and Win the Space. How about you?
I went the other way. I went to Chrome. The work on July 16th convinced me. 59-1, the first, the top one on that day at Del Mar, first of 85 at that distance, a 5 furlong and 59-1. And he seems to be on top of his game. Obviously, he was much the best in Dubai. Gave him a rest to come back down from that trip. The horse has won $12 million. So I'd love to see PBs, but it's amazing. Of course, it was $5 million in one leg there. But California, or $6 million. California Chrome is my pick. I think Dortmund has a real shot. 8 for 10 lifetime, very dangerous speed, 3 for 3 the distance. But California Chrome is also 3 for 3 at a mile and 16. And I like the horse that you also mentioned, Win the Space, in the Gold Cup, in the San Diego Gold Cup, ran behind Melatonin, who came back and won again, I think. And so the 107, though, goes 98 to 107, may just bounce off that. That was at a mile and a quarter, and he really liked that distance, apparently. Never run close to that in his life before that. So I don't think Win the Space is really in the class of Dortmund and California Chrome. But if one of them doesn't run, he's got a shot to get an exacta. So I would play it like you, but I would put Chrome on top.
All right, let's look at the late pick 4. As I said, it started with the San Clemente in the 7th race. What's your ticket look like?
I got the 4 horses we talked about in the San Clemente with Belvoir Bay, Be Mine, the 1-3, and the 10-11 stays in Vegas and Gone to Valley. In the second leg, which is a $16,000 claiming, I went 4, 5, 10. My Hearts in the City would be my top choice, along with Ish, the 5, and Katie Drama, the 10. So I would go 3 deep there. In the San Diego, I would go 2 deep with Chrome and Dortmund, the 2-6. And then in the finale, it's a maiden special weight. I went 4, 6, 9, 10 with Georgia Blue, Whistle Pretty, first timer for Bob Hess with the Sormo, and Bob Hess has got a little success with firsters, and this field doesn't look that tough. I also used the 9 Shazara for John Sheriffs and the 10 Sassy Ashley for Rafael Bejarano. So I'd go 4 deep there, 4, 6, 9, 10. A couple of horses on the also eligible list. There was a guy at Red Mile the other day, lost a $10,000 pick 4 because he didn't realize the 14 drew in and left it off. So always look at the also eligibles, because I think in this case, John Sheriff and Jerry Hollendorfer have 2 live horses, 13 and 14. Mike Smith named on 1 and Martin Garcia on the other. So On's Way and CC Zip, if they get in, are going to be 2 of the favorites. So make sure you look at the also eligible list. If it stays, if they're not in, I will go 4, 6, 9, 10 there. I think that's a $48 ticket.
I ended up with a $48 ticket as well. I went 4 deep in the first leg. The only difference for me was I used Jade Princess, the 5, instead of the 11. I used Princess Kendra and Katie Drama, the 2 and the 10, in that non-winners of 2 claiming race, the 8th. Both horses claimed recently, actually out of their last starts, and I think for the Del Mar meet and the Saratoga meet, you see a lot of claims preceding those meets with folks who are looking to get a win at those big meets. And so both horses coming off claims in their last starts, and I'm going to use those 2, the 2 and the 10. Like you, Dortmund and California Chrome, I'll key on those 2 in the third leg. And then I went 6 deep in the last leg, all the ones you mentioned, plus the 12 prevailing and the 1 She's to Blame. But if 13 and or 14 draw in, if your budget permits, I'd include both of those, and maybe one of the 6 I mentioned gets scratched as one of those draws in, or the way I ranked them in terms of my 6 was 10, 9, 6, 4, 12, 11. So you can put 13 or 14 ahead of the bottom 2 if they draw in, if you want to do it that way. So to keep it at a $48 ticket. But basically, I'm kind of thinking it's a wide open race. Just didn't want to use a big enough ticket to cover everybody. But if you got the budget, just hit the all button on that last leg, because there's certainly no standout in there unless there's some good info that comes out between now and then. Great racing, great time of year with Del Mar and Saratoga underway. Any contests that you guys have going on for the simulcasting at Red Mile here in Lexington?
We do have a Friday night contest. We're going to do just $10 contest, no food involved. Just sign up, and we're going to give away 100% of the prize money. So it's a $10 entry fee for Del Mar on Friday night. Their first post is at 7, and we do the first 7 races. They have a habit of dropping 2 7 races later on in the summer. They're going to run 8 this Friday night, I think. But the first 7 races, $10 entry fee. Winner takes half of it, and top 10 go to the Tournament of Champions. So it's just a real easy contest. So come out on Friday night Also, it's a good weekend for Red Mile. We open harness racing on Sunday, the 24th, and we'll run through the summer on Thursday, Saturday, Sunday at 7 o'clock each night. So it's kind of a cool place to be with harness racing, simulcasting, and the instant racing on the first floor.
Best of luck with your wagers, and we will be back for our next Saturday podcast, and then we'll do one on Sunday on Haskell Day next week as well for the big card up at Monmouth. For Jim Goodman, I'm Tom Leach, and that's the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. All right.
Got TVG on. Todd Schrupp